It's time for another multi-chrome edit, and in today's video I'm going to be featuring the Cosmos from Terra Cosmetics, and I'm going to be creating two little quad eyeshadow palettes with it, and I'm going to be doing a more colorful palette as well as a more neutral leaning palette with this shade to give you ideas on how you can use this. You do not need these exact matte shadows from these brands. It's really just for color reference, so you can dip into whatever shades you already have, whether that's single eyeshadows or palettes. So let's get into each of the little quads, and I'll kind of go into detail about why I chose those mattes for each of the quads, and then I'll show you how I would use each of the quads. So this first quad is the neutral quad, if you will. So it's got a little bit more subdued tones. It does have a pink in here. I kind of count like a really subdued pink like this as a neutral because I think it's not really bright and it tends to pair really nicely with especially cooler tone mattes. So what we have here is a mid-tone taupe, and I thought that one would go nicely because it is a little bit more, it's not too warm, it's not like a warm tone brown, so it actually leans a little bit more towards the pink that you see straight on in the shift of the Cosmos. And then this lighter pink is pretty much almost dead on the tone of the straight on shift. And what's really nice about the Cosmos is it's a little bit on the sheer side, so you can build it up to be a little bit more opaque, but you can also use it as a little bit more of a sheerer wash, and it will kind of take on whatever base you put it on top of. And then of course we needed a deepening up matte shade, and this one's definitely a little bit more warmer toned, but it's not necessarily a burgundy, so I would say it's a little bit between like a warmer, like super warm tone darker brown and a cooler tone brown. So it's a little bit of an in-between, and I think because of that it's really versatile to use with these other tones because they won't clash. And I will be putting down in the description box the mattes just in case you have them and you want to recreate this exact palette. Onto the second quad, this is much more colorful. This one is really just aimed to amp up the shades that you see within the shifts, and again because it is a sheerer shade, it will really just pop on all these shades. You could definitely just use one of the mattes at a time and then layer the Cosmos over it and just see it transform, or you could create a super beautiful, colorful, but very complementary look because you have the pink and the purple and the blue all together, and they're going to create an absolutely beautiful gradient and just really complement the Cosmos. So this pink is much more of a Barbie pink compared to the other matte, as you can see, so it does have quite a bit more pop to it. And then this gorgeous periwinkle shade, it's a little bit of a darker periwinkle, absolutely stunning tone, and that will really just pair so nicely with the pink blue tone kind of mixed within the Cosmos. And then of course I wanted a blue because there is a little bit of a blue. Now the Cosmos does have a green shift at a harsh angle, so you could definitely pop one of these out and switch it out for a green if you wanted to. For example, if you were not really into pinks, you could definitely also add in a green, and that would actually create a really interesting contrast between the pink in the Cosmos but also complementing the shift. And here are the swatches of the neutral quad. So you can see the green shift here, and then the pink straight on, and definitely a bit of the blue. And here's the brighter colored palette. Oh my gosh, I hit a tiny pan! There's a pan from the swatches. Oh my gosh! Starting off with the brighter palette, I do want to use all the shades in the little quad, as there's 4 shades, so I feel like that's very doable. But of course you could just take them one at a time. You could use one matte or 2 mattes and then a shimmer. So I'm first taking the bright pink, and I'm gonna put that right into the inner crease and lid. Just gonna first tapping it on and then putting on a little bit more. I'm gonna essentially kind of create a gradient, so I'm gonna go from purple, pink to blue. So next, taking the periwinkle. This is such a fun shade. And just kind of layering them a little bit, but it doesn't really matter too much because you're going to be putting the shimmer on top anyway. So in regards to the blend on your actual lid, it's not really relevant too much. And then taking the blue on the outer corner. Look at how vibrant. Super vibrant. And I'm putting it a little bit underneath my lower lash line as well, and then slowly blending it outwards. And I wiped off my brush and I'm picking up just a little bit of setting powder. I'm just gonna take that on the edges, and then I'm gonna wipe off my brush again And I'm going to go back into the Periwinkle shade and just tap on a little bit more. Next, I'm taking the Devinah Specular Shimmer Primer, and I'm just going to use the tiniest bit and just tap it on my lid. I definitely don't want to use too much glitter primer. I just want my lid to be tacky, especially with a flakier shade. And I'm going to do what I like to do with flakier shades. I'm going to pick it up with my finger, and I'm going to take it against the edge of the pan, and it will automatically already smooth it out, which eliminates the flakiness. And I'm just going to tap it on the lid. I'm going in with just a little bit more and really just smoothing it out. So you can make it a little bit more opaque this way. And here's the finished look. So you have the green fading into the blue, and then the pink straight on, really playing into the pink on the inner corner. But then if the light is hitting it from the inner corner, you will see the green against the pink, but it does just create a little bit of a contrast. Onto the more neutral look, I'm first taking the mauve shade, and I'm just going to put that onto the outer half of my lid, and also bringing it underneath my lower lash line, and just really blending this in here, just creating a little bit of depth right off the bat. Really just focusing it on this outer portion, not taking it down too far. And this is very much going to depend on your eye shape as well. So if you have a similar eye shape to mine, you might find this will work for you. Next, I picked up the light pink. I'm just gonna work that a little bit onto the outermost edge of that shade, just to bring that in a little bit. I'm also going to bring it underneath my lower lash line and just outwards. You could have, of course, started with a shade as well. And then I'm gonna bring it just a little bit down here, just a little bit. And then taking the dark brown on the outermost corner, as well as underneath the lower lash line, just to slowly start connecting it down here. And then I'm gonna wipe off this brush because I don't want any more product. I already have a lot of product on here, so now I just wanna blend it out. So I'm going just circular motions, small circular motions, and just slowly blending it outwards. And then just a little bit out here and a little bit underneath my lower lash line. I'm going to be using the specular primer from Devinah again, and I picked it up on this small brush. This is a Spectrum A16, and I really want to do like a faux half cut crease situation with it. So I'm just going to be really working it up here, and I want to go a little bit higher than my crease. And I'm stopping about halfway on my lid. Picking up the Cosmos, and it does pick up a little bit flaky, so it's just going to be a little bit more fallout-y, if that's even a word. And I'm just popping that right up against where I put down the glue, and then on the lid. And then just taking a little bit more in here. You do have to use a bit of pressure with the brush to really make sure it smooths out, but you can also always just go over it with a clean finger just to really press it and smooth it out. I was able to get some of the fallout off, but I still have quite a bit because they did kind of really stick down in this area, so definitely recommend with anything flakier to make sure that you do your eyes before your base. But here's the second look. We have the green fading into the brown. And let me know in the comments below which look is your favorite, and comment below which shade you would like to see me use next for the next Multichrome edit. And I will link the previous video down in the description box in case you haven't seen it. It is with Ferric, and it is already a much more neutral shade than this one for sure. I think this one is a little bit more of a challenge, but definitely very much doable. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up. And thank you so much for watching. I hope to see you next time.